Do you have the Janome HD-9 at home and you're just a tad bit intimidated by where to oil it, how often you should oil it, and where does the oil even go? Well, in today's video, we're gonna go in depth on where you should be dropping oil, how often you should be dropping oil, and where the oil is actually going. So let's go ahead and start showing you how to oil your machine. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the top and work our way down with oiling. The first two spots that you need to oil on the top of this machine, we recommend oiling it one time every time you go to use the machine. So if you're using it every day, you can do a drop of oil every single day. I would probably go towards 1 to 2 drops versus 1 to 3 drops if you're doing it every day. If you're not using this machine very often, you're using it once every now and then, just oil it before you use it. And we just recommend 1 to 3 drops in these two spots. So you're gonna have one little spot here. So I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3. And I'm just using the oil that came with the Janome. If you need more oil, you can go to janomejunkies.com and we should have more oil for you guys to choose from there. 1, 2, 3. And in this hole over here, there's really only 2 holes on the top that you can oil, and it's the ones without screw holes in it. This one over here has a little wick that feeds down and feeds your needle bar and your pressure foot bar and some other components. This one over here, the oil actually drops all the way down the machine, ends up in this little spot where oil is controlled and held, and then it goes into like a little funnel and falls into your main shaft that supplies to, that runs your hook. So it's pretty important to oil these 2 spots. We recommend 1 to 3 drops every time you use your machine, and that is it. You don't need to oil it every single day if you're not using it, just the days that you go to use it. We recommend 1 to 3 drops. Now I'm gonna show you a little bit more in detail where this oil is going on the top. I don't recommend you guys do this at home. There's 2 Phillips head screws here that you remove, and then this top cover comes off. This is just for demonstration purposes only. And I just wanna kind of show you where the oil is going so you kind of understand where it's going. So on this machine, the oil will drop down onto this wick when you oil that left side, and it's supplying oil to your needle bar here. And then if you move over here, you'll see whenever you drop oil on this right side, it actually is falling straight down into this frame piece. And you'll see, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see on camera. Let me see if I can show you. So on this right side, you can see right there where there's oil sitting, it's falling into that little hole. It's like a big square funnel, and then there's a hole in the center, and you'll see it looks like a little swab, and that swab is absorbing the oil and feeding the main shaft that supplies to your hook. So it's important to get oil there, and it's important to get oil on that left side so it oils your presser foot bar and your needle bar and all of those components. Now when you bring this machine in to get professionally serviced, they're gonna hit spots that don't typically get oiled on your regular maintenance. So we do recommend bringing it in to get it serviced so they can take it apart further than this and oil in areas that you can't typically oil standard at just your normal spots that you would oil on this machine. So bring it in once a year to every 2 years to get it professionally serviced. They'll oil a whole bunch of other spots. I'll just show you a couple of the extra spots. You can see these little tiny holes on this take-up bar. There's a hole there that takes oil. There's a hole right there that takes oil, and there's a variety of other ones worked in this area. And over here, there's some spots that take oil right there. So it is important to bring this machine in once a year to once every 2 years to get it professionally oiled and serviced. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this cap back on. Make sure I plug that back in, and then this cap just drops back down. Put my 2 screws back in, and we're ready to move on to the next spots to oil. Okay, so now the next spot to oil is going to be your hook and this little bar right here. So this little bar right here, you can see that there's like a cotton swab or a cotton ball kind of working in there, and that's just absorb oil to feed the oil to this moving mechanism. So you're just gonna drop 1 little drop of oil, 1 to 2 drops of oil really, right there. And if it looks like it's got a whole bunch of oil on it, you probably don't need to oil it again. Just make sure you check it, and if it looks super dry, then you can drop another drop of oil. So now that we have that oiled, it's gonna be the hook. The hook area is very important to oil, and this is probably gonna be your most frequent spot. So this spot you're going to oil once, one time every time you go to use it, once a day or once every couple months whenever you use it, if you're using it that little. And then the hook area, I recommend oiling it every full bobbin change or before you go to sew on it if it looks dry. And the hook is going to be this sharp point right there. That is the hook, right? See that sharp point that's moving? It's right there. We'll throw an arrow up on it so you can see it better. That's going to go around your basket 2 times every time your needle goes down. So it's important to oil that really, really well and make sure it stays oiled so that way the metal on metal stays lubricated and it doesn't cause any issues. So I recommend just grabbing your oil bottle, going right there on that edge. I like to drop it right there on that edge where it meets the basket so you can see the hook is moving around. And the basket is the piece that only moves a little bit. You see how it goes back and forth a little bit, but it doesn't rotate all the way around. So you want to drop it right on that edge there, so that way metal on metal is well lubricated. And you just do 1 drop on that, and it's good to go. And I recommend doing that every full bobbin change or every time you go to change your bobbin. At least look in there, and if it looks super dry, drop oil on it, and you'll notice your machine will sound much, much smoother. Now, one other tool I like to use while oiling is this cleaning swab. I'll drop some oil on it just like that. And what I'd like to do is just rub it on the presser foot bar just to kind of give it a little bit of a shine. And same thing with my needle bar. When I do that, it allows the needle bar to have a little bit of oil on there. So when it's moving up and down through those bushings, it's well lubricated. And it also gives it a nice shine and cleans off any black residue and old oil and protects it from any rust or any corrosion or anything like that if you're in a salty environment or you're near the ocean. And you can also use these cleaning swabs to wipe around in the hook area and dry up any excess oil as well. Just like that, we now know how to oil our Janome HD-9 the right way. If you guys need more oil or cleaning swabs, check the link in the description of this video. We'll have a link for the cleaning swabs, extra oil, and different oiling pins that you can use on your machine. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a like, hit that subscribe button down below because we try to post every week, and leave us a comment if you have any questions on your Janome HD-9. If you're interested in one of these beautiful machines, give us a call, shoot us an email, or check it out on JanomeJunkies.com. We take a lot of pride in our customer support and service, so if you ever get this machine and you're out of state, we can hand test it for you before we ship it. We can answer any questions over FaceTime or text, and we take a lot of pride in that. Also, if you have Facebook, join the Janome Junkies Facebook group where you can join thousands of people that have Janome sewing machine and products, and a great way to share your experience with your machine. So, just like that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.